welcome to a book obsession. I'm Ashley Gunn, and this next series of reviews are going to be on Jay McLean's More Than series. I'm going to break it up into individual reviews because there's just so much content and many things that I want to talk about. So before we get started, I want to talk about a couple of things you guys can expect from this series. First of all, this is a drama-filled roller coaster. There is never a moment when you are sitting still and you feel completely content, because every time the characters get over one situation, another one arises. It's honestly an incredible series. Typically, I have an issue with roller coaster storylines if, to me, it feels like a scary movie. I don't know if you guys can really relate to this, but sometimes in books where there's ups and downs, it feels like that moment in the scary movies where you're like, why on earth? Why would you do that? And that's sometimes how I feel with roller coaster books, is that the author maybe needed to come up with something new, so they stuck something there and it didn't fit. Where Jay does the exact opposite. Everything that happens in her books really feels natural. It feels like it just kind of organically happened, whether it's because of outside circumstance, maybe a character's really naive about what's going on around them, or maybe it's just a survival instinct, and so they make poor decisions, but it's because they think that that's what they need to do in order to survive, or what's best for the situation. It's really, really just beyond amazing. I absolutely loved it, and it's hard to get me to love a series with as much emotion as this. This is the very first series I've ever read that has made me angry. There are a couple of different things. Specifically, I can't tell you because I don't want to ruin those big major moments for you. But for me, it's really hard to get me angry. Just in general, I tend to be more laid back, and it's easy to get me to cry or laugh at a book, but getting me angry is really, really difficult. And Jay does it, like, honestly, probably 3 or 4 times. There were serious times where I was ready to throw down with fictional characters, guys. I was that, like, just intense about the situation, because they're like those moments that like really just define the book. I don't want to tell you guys about them because I don't want to spoil them, but if you read the series or have read the series, email me and we'll talk about them, and I'll tell you guys all the different times I got mad during this series. Alright, so this book specifically is going to be more than this, and it's going to be about Jake and Michaela. This should be the first indication that you're in for a roller coaster ride. It opens with this adorable scene with Michaela, her mother, father, little sister. Michaela's getting ready to go to her senior prom, and it's beautiful, and they're having a great time. She runs off to senior prom, and she catches her then boyfriend of 4 years cheating on her with her best friend. So to me, that's what I think this whole book is going to be about, and let me tell you, it is just like a penny in the bucket of what is going to happen during this book. It's incredible. Apparently, Michaela's boyfriend has been cheating. Out of the 4 years they've been together, when she talks to him about it, it's actually been 2 years. Jake is there to witness the whole thing. Jake and Michaela don't have any relationship before this. He's seen her one time. Logan actually was trying to like be funny and dumped a drink down Michaela's back, which I guess was a good thing, kind of, because it kind of led to everything. But anyways, Jake was there and witnessed Michaela finding out about her boyfriend cheating on her. So Jake essentially invites Michaela to spend the evening with him and his friends, and that way her ex-boyfriend didn't ruin her prom night. They go hang out, have a good time. You're going to meet everybody that's going to be in this series. All the characters' personalities, you're going to meet that, and are going to carry on through all of their books. My favorite is Lucy. Oh my heavens, I cannot even explain to you. She is just amazingly inappropriate, cusses like a sailor, insane, adorable. I absolutely love her. And actually, I think I love her more as the series goes on. She's absolutely my favorite character, hands down. It's weird because normally the series I read don't have as much cussing in them as this series does, and actually it was one of my first thoughts during the book was, wow, they cuss a lot. But the more that you read, it really almost becomes part of the humor of the book. It's really funny. Anyways, so they go to the bonfire, they meet everyone, and that's actually even more interesting because, so you meet Cam and Lucy at this bonfire, but Cam and Lucy's book starts with them being 12 years old. So when you get to their book, they're 12, and then you go through their life, you're going to actually remember them being at this bonfire in their books, and then actually beyond that. It's really just, Jake did an amazing job with that. Alright, so after the bonfire, Jake decides to take Michaela back to her house, make sure she gets home okay, and that's where her life just completely changes. You're going to have to read it, but the entire rest of the book is about overcoming prom night. It's going to be about all the different things that have changed in her life, and really moving on from that. So the storyline with Jake and Michaela gets really complicated because Jake was there for her through everything, like I said, prom night and beyond. at some points, I think that it becomes where Michaela does obviously love him. They fool around several times, and she even acknowledges that she loves him. I think that she's so stuck on the idea of him being her anchor, him being the thing that holds her together, that was there through the worst parts, and that she needs him, that she's completely terrified of the idea of being with him and then it not working out, and she doesn't have her Jake anymore. Her fear inhibits her from even attempting a relationship with Jake. And at the same time, Jake is constantly, well, I don't want to say constantly like a nag, but he does make it very clear that he wants to be with her. And in some ways, you definitely feel like it's unfair to both of them. It's unfair that she had to go through what she went through. It's unfair to him that through everything, she's still not ready to move on, and it causes him to almost get stuck in his life as well. It's really just, it's a beautiful story. At the end, I thought we were going to crush my heart, and luckily Jay took a different turn, and I'm so grateful for it, because for a minute she legitimately had me scared. But it's an incredible book. I didn't know how we were going to make a book that lived up to this one in the rest of the series, but every single one of them, guys, stay tuned, watch the playlist. All of the books have just incredible storylines, incredible plots, that they're all equally amazing, and you can completely understand how they all fit in the same series. I will tell you this, every single one of them completely different. The characters are completely different. The people in their lives are completely different. The only thing that remains the same is these people that you meet at the bonfire, and that they will be stuck together like glue. They're always going to be there for each other, and so you're going to continue to see them, but the actual situations that are going on in each character's life, those are going to be completely different. It's really interesting when you realize what you just read. So an example would be in Michaela and Jake's story when they're in college and you're talking about something that's going on with Lucy, maybe a way that she's acting, or with Cam, or a way that he's acting. Then you get to their book and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's this part. Or Logan, there's definitely parts in Michaela and Jake's story where they mention something going on with Logan, and then all of a sudden, when you get to Logan's book, it just goes completely obvious, and you missed it. It's really almost like a thriller or a mystery, and you're kind of getting clues throughout the whole thing. I loved it. Alright, so if you like this, if you like it, if you have any questions or comments, go and put those down below. If you guys want to talk about the book, email me, because don't spoil it down in the comments for anybody who hasn't read it. Thank you, guys. And if you want to watch my videos every week or subscribe to the playlist, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for joining me.